Hello class, today I'm here to interview Keiko Bang.
Hi, I'm Keiko Bang, and it's such an honor to be here and to be interviewed by Francisco. I am a producer, I've been a director, a writer, and I think that Francisco's going to talk to me about what it's like to do all of these things. But fundamentally what I do is I tell stories, and I love what I do.
How did you start making movies?
So before I started making movies, I was a news reporter, and I happened to be living in Asia, and China was closed off to the world. But suddenly it opened up, and the television station called me and said, "Hey, I heard you've been studying Chinese. How would you like to be a reporter?" And I was very young, and I went to China, and I learned how to, start making sort of documentaries and news. But I eventually realized that I didn't want to just do news. I wanted to tell stories that were really fantastical, or stories about people that I really liked that were fictional. And so gradually started moving over into movies.
What do you like the most about your job?
I think that every director or producer makes a movie for a different reason. But for me, I feel like I have something to tell the world. I feel like I want the world to be a better place. And a lot of people like to watch movies for different reasons.
Yeah.
But I feel like in my heart, I want to tell the world we really need to be serious about helping the planet, make a better world for people like you. We need to be kinder to each other. We need to care about everyone in our society, not just, the individual. So there's lots of things that I want to say, and sometimes you can't just say it. You need to have a story that people can understand. And then when you get to the ending, people go, "Oh, I understand why there's a story." So that's probably one of the biggest reasons why I like to make movies.
What do a producer or a director does every day?
It's hard to say that a producer and a director do anything like every day in the same way, like 9 to 5. It's more like a process. First, you come up with your idea. Then you've got to finance it. You got to find the money for it. So you got to develop and say, wow, I got to write the script. Then I got to find people who want to give me money. Then I got to figure out where I'm going to air it or broadcast it, or how the theaters are going to carry it. And then the fun part is really when you get to go into production. It's a different kind of stress. And then when you're done with the production, you're doing things like PR and parties and trying to get people to watch it and to write about it. So it's quite a complicated process, but what's really fun is that you have an idea and you give birth to this great story, and you get to watch it all the way to the very end. And when it's in the theaters or when people watch it, you can see that it moves them. And sometimes, if you're lucky, it changes them.
What is the hardest part of making a movie?
The hardest part to making anything, not just a movie, but a documentary or any of these sort of things, people think it's I have to be so creative. Actually, being creative isn't that hard. If you've got a really good story, you can really, make that. I think the hardest thing, honestly, is to persuade people to say yes. Because everyone says no. Can I film here? No. Do you want my story? No. Will you please air my story on television? No. Will my cameraman work a little bit longer? No. So the best thing you can possibly do is learn how to convince people to say yes in a way that helps them, a way that helps you, and everyone wins.
What advice would you give me if I want to be a producer or a director?
So my advice is this: if you like to tell stories and maybe you don't really want to be overly absorbed in how it's going to look, but you love the idea that you started the story and you get to go ask money, you're really good at organizing things and managing things and schedules, and then you want to do all the different parts of it, then you're probably going to be a producer. And so you should probably start managing projects. Like, I'm going to do this Roblox world and I'm going to manage it this way. I'm going to tell all my friends, I'm going to make sure everyone signs up. Then you're a producer. But if you're a director, sometimes it's like how it seems. You really love the way things look. Not just the story, but oh my gosh, how would I show rain coming down and filling up the whole world so that as everyone's sitting in a world where the water's up to here? How would I film that? And if you like taking a camera and taking pictures all the time, then that's probably something that you want to do as a director. So it's about, do you want to build a story out and do it all the way to the end, all the different parts of it? Or do you just want to focus on making the story itself visually?
All my classmates and friends will enjoy this.
I know I did. Thank you so much. Good luck, everybody.